How are you? This is Pastor Kent with you, and we're looking at Genesis 33. We have just a few more books to go, and then we're into Exodus. 17 more books, and then we're into the book of Genesis. But we're looking at Genesis 33 today, and Jacob lifted up his eyes. Abba, may your words touch spirits and unhardened hearts, and say these things in Yeshua's name. Amen. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked. Esau was coming, and with him 100 men. And he deliberated his children to Leah and Rachel, and the two maidservants. He put the maidservants and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindmost. And he passed on before them, and bowed to the earth 7 times. And he came near to his brother, and Esau met him, embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him, and they wept. And he lifted up his eyes, and saw that the woman and the children, and said, Who are these with thee? And he said, The child that God has graciously given thy servant. And the maidservants drew near, and their children, and they bowed. And Leah also and her children drew near, and they bowed. And the last Joseph drew near, and Rachel, and they bowed. And he said, What meanest thou by the drive which I met? And he said, To find favor in thy eyes, my lord. And Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Let what thou hast be thine. And Jacob said, No, I pray thee. I have found favor in thine eyes. Then receive my gift from thy hand. Therefore have I seen thy face, and thou hast seen in the face of God, and thou hast received me with pleasure. So, as we see here, Esau has found God, and he forgave his brother Jacob. Take, I pray thee, the blessing which has been brought to thee, because God hast been gracious to me, and because I have everything. He eagered me to him, and he took it. And he said, Let us take our journey and go on, and I will go before thee. And he said to him, My Lord knows the children are tender, and the suckling sheep and Neil are with me. And if they should overdrive them, only one day all the flock will die. Let my Lord thee pass on before this servant, and I will drive on to ease according to the pace of the cattle, and that this is before me, and according to the peace of my children, until I will come to my Lord, to Sarah. And Esau said, Let me now leave with thee some of the people that are with me, And he said, What need? Let me find favor in thy eyes, of my Lord. And Esau returned that day on his way to Sarah. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth, and built himself a house on which his cattle had made booths. Therefore the name of the place was called Succoth. And Jacob came safely to the city of Shechem, which is the land of Canaan. And he came from Paddan Aram, and encamped before the city. And he brought a proportion of his field where he had spread his tent of the hand of the sons of Hormah, Shamma's father, 400 Cathians. And there he set up an altar, and called it Elor Israel, which is the Lord Israel. Now we're going to Mathew chapter 9, and reading what it says there. And going abroad the ship, he passed over and came to his own town. And behold, they brought him a paraplegic, laid upon a bed. And Jesus saith, their faith, said to the paralytic, Be of good courage, child, thy sins are forgiven. And behold, certain of the scribes said to themselves, This man blasphemes. And Jesus sees their thoughts, and says, Why do ye think evil things in your hearts? For which is easier to say, Thy sins are forgiven, or say, Rise up and walk? But ye may know that the Son of Man has power on earth to forgive sins. Then he says to the paraplegic, Rise up, take up thy bed, and go to thy house. And he rose, got up, and went to his house. But the crowds, seeing it, were in fear, and glorified God, who gave such power to men. And Jesus, passing on hence, saw a man sitting in the tax office, called Mathew, and says to him, Follow me. And he rose up and followed him. And it came to pass, when he lay at a table in the house, that behold, many tax gatherers and sinners came to lay at the table with Jesus and his disciples. And the Pharisees, seeing it, said to his disciples, Why does your teacher eat with tax gatherers and sinners? But Jesus, hearing it, said, That they are strong have not need of physical, but those that are ill. But go, learn what is. I will have mercy and not sacrifice, for I have not come to call righteous men, but sinners. Then come to him the disciple of John, saying, Why do we and the Pharisees often fast, and thy disciples fast not? And Jesus said to them, Can the sons of a bride chamber mourn, so long as the bridegroom is with them, but says will come when the bridegroom will have been taken away from them, and then they will fast? But no one puts a patch on a new cloth of an old garment. Its filling it takes from the garment, and whose rent takes place. Nor do men put new wine into old skins. Otherwise the skins burst, and the wine pour out, and the skins will be destroyed. And they put new wine into new skins, and both are preserved together. As he spake these things to them, behold, a ruler cometh in, did homage to him, saying, My daughter has by this dead, but come and lay thy hand upon her, and she shall live. And Jesus rose up and followed him, and so did his disciples. And behold, a woman who had bled bleedingly, fluxly for 12 years, came behind and touched the hem of his garment. And she said within herself, If I should only touch his garment, I shall be healed. But Jesus, turning and seeing her, said, Be of good courage, daughter. So he called her daughter. See, he knew who she was. Thy faith has healed thee. And the woman was healed from that hour. And when Jesus came to the house of the ruler and saw the fluter players, and came making atonement, he said, Withdraw, for this is dismal, is not dead, but sleeps. And they buried him. But when the crowd had put out, he went in and took her hand, and the dismay rose up, and the fame of it went out into the land. And Jesus passed on hence. 2 blind men followed him, crying and saying, Have mercy on us, Son of David. See, they knew who he was. They had no question who he was. And when he came to the house, the blind men came to him, and Jesus says to them, Do ye believe that I am able to do this? They say to him, Yea, Lord. Yes, Lord. Then he touched their eyes, saying, According to your faith, be it unto you. And their eyes were opened, and Jesus changed them sharply, saying, See, let no man know it. But they, when they were gone, spread his name abroad in all that land. But as those were going behind, they brought to him a dumb man who was possessed by a demon. And the demon, having been cast out, the dumb spake. And the crowds were astonished, saying, It has never seen thus in Israel. And the Pharisees, He has cast out demons through the prince of demons. So again, they put him in the path of his brother, Beelzebub, and say that he gets his power from Beelzebub, but exactly the opposite. He gets his power from the Father which is in heaven. And Jesus went around to all the cities and the villages, teaching in synagogues and preaching glad tidings to the kingdom and healing every disease and every body weakness. But when he saw the crowds, he moved with compassion for them, because they are harassed and cast away as sheep not having a shepherd. This, brothers and sisters, is referring to those that have been cast out by the world today. Many Christians believe that because you love the same sex person, you are not welcome in heaven. This says that all are welcome in heaven. It makes no distinction. Then saith to his disciples, the harvest is great, and the workmen are few. Sublet therefore the Lord of harvest, and send he forth working men unto his harvest. This ministry is looking for just such people. People who believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, in the Messiah, and want to help their fellow human beings. I, through the power of the Lord Jesus Christ, can teach you to do what he did. I have the power through the Lord Jesus Christ to do the same things that he did. Raise the dead, heal the sick, make the blind see, the lame walk, the mute to speak, the demons to be cast out, and, of course, to raise the dead. I have those same powers within me because I have the blood of our Messiah which flows through my veins. Does that make me God? Absolutely not. I still have sinful thoughts. I still have power. I still have, issues. But I do it for his glory. This ministry is in dire need of love devotions and love offerings. Please feel free to contribute to this ministry through the PayPal account. May God bless and keep you in all that you do. Abba, thank you for being here with us. Bless, guide, strengthen, and keep us as we go our separate ways. We say these things in Yeshua's name. Amen.